Hello everyone, and welcome to Retro Brick Reviews, where today we'll be taking a look at 3 recently revealed LEGO Star Wars sets, all of which will be releasing on March 1st, 2022. Those sets being the Mandalorian Dark Trooper Attack, as well as the 2 new sets for LEGO's helmet collection, the Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet and the Mandalorian helmet. So without any further ado, let's begin, starting with set 75324, the Dark Trooper Attack. The set will include 166 pieces, 4 minifigures, and retail for about $30 in the United States. It depicts the scene from the finale of The Mandalorian Season 2, in which the Jedi, Luke Skywalker, faces off against a full battalion of Dark Troopers in order to rescue the Mandalorian and child. Starting by taking a look at the box, this is actually my first time talking about the new 2022 box style for LEGO Star Wars, and I have to say I really like it. It's not the best design the theme's ever had, but it's a great sight better than the design we've had since 2019. You have the black greebling, which looks much better than the white, and also something I really like is that all of the boxes are themed with the color depending on what sub-theme this is from. For example, this is a Mandalorian set, so it has dark orange trim, and in the bottom left corner we have an image of the Mandalorian and the child. Very nice. Taking a look at the build, you can see that it is quite simple, essentially just being a small hallway diorama. However, it does have a good amount of depth to it in both directions, measuring 11 by 19 studs by my count. Now, you could say that the price-to-part ratio for this set is quite poor. 166 pieces for $30 isn't fantastic, but to be honest, I feel as though combining the build with the figures, the value does stand here. It's primarily just a low price-to-part ratio, a high price-to-part ratio, low piece count for the price, because this set uses a lot of larger panel pieces for the walls, as you can see. So as a result, the main walls of the build do not take up very many pieces, even though they do have a good amount of mass to them. But just looking at this, it's not very complex, but I think it is very accurate. It's very nice to get a diorama for just a Star Destroyer hallway interior. That's something we've never really gotten before in LEGO Star Wars. And there are a good amount of stickers in the set, but I think they all go to good effect to convey detail. I do wish that maybe some of the paneling on the wall could have been done with brick built with some wedge plates instead, but I do think the stickers do look good, and they are more accurate than brick built details would have been. I just always prefer brick built details. But as you can see, at the one end, we have the elevator that Luke comes out of with a stickered control panel, and above that you just have the standard Star Wars Imperial elevator panel up top, and some lights at the side. Then you have a doorway for a Dark Trooper to come through, the aforementioned paneled walls with a whole lot of stickers, and then on the floor, you'll notice that there are a lot of studs, but also some tiling that is a little inconsistent, but I think it does work overall, with the fact that the tiling is mostly more toward the center of the hallway. And you can also see that there are a few cutout areas in the floor that will actually go toward the set's play features, of which there are 3. The first is a sliding feature, where you can see that little lever at the end, and you can see the Dark Trooper standing on a jumper plate, and that is designed so that you can force pull or push the Dark Troopers. It's a very simple feature, but I think it does have a good look to it, and, just good effect to have. I can't think of another time we've really gotten a simulated force pull in a LEGO set before, so I applaud the designers for coming up with it, and yeah, very simple feature, but a good one. Similarly, for Dark Trooper Destruction, another feature, it just has Luke stand on a little turntable, allowing him to hack and slash at them. And, I mean, yeah, it's very simple, but I think that's an even better feature. That's just super fun, in my opinion. And then the last one, the last play feature in the set, is another turntable, this time for the elevator, where, much like in past LEGO Star Wars sets featuring the Imperial First Order elevator design, rather than this actually moving up and down, you can just rotate it to simulate the door opening. So, yeah, good feature there. Overall, like, none of these features are mind-blowing or anything, but they're very nice to get. They all do a great job at simulating the scene, and just in general, it's nice to get LEGO Star Wars sets with play features that aren't just spring-loaded shooters. So, yeah, definitely a fun play set. But while I do overall have positive feelings toward the build, that's not really the main reason I'm interested in the set, and I'm pretty sure that goes for everyone. No. The main thing with this set is the minifigures, where we have a brand new and exclusive Luke Skywalker based on his appearance at the end of The Mandalorian, with his black Jedi robes, as well as 3 Dark Troopers. Starting with that Luke figure, that is a brand new design for the torso and legs. After all, this is the first time we've gotten Luke in his black robes since 2010, so definitely a lot of room for improvement, and I think they've taken it. This is a really well-detailed design. It uses the modern hood piece we've had since 2019, although this is by far the easiest way to get it in black, which is nice. And then the standard Luke Skywalker face they've been using for quite a few years now, which usually I think isn't expressive enough for the character, but for the finale of Mandalorian, I think it actually works quite well. If you've seen it, you'll understand. And then he also gets his green lightsaber, very nice. The Dark Troopers are nothing new. They first appeared last year in the Imperial Light Cruiser set. However, it is really great to get 3 of them in a $30 set, as opposed to 1 in a terrible $160 set. So these being the same figures, they have the same pros and cons to them, where I think that the helmet piece LEGO's created is absolutely fantastic and looks perfect. And that does actually go over a printed minifigure head, which is, I actually quite like, where the red showing through is actually red printed on the head. And then around the back of the head, you actually have the battery pack that the Mando rips out during his fight with one of them. So that's a very nice inclusion. It uses the new LEGO Star Wars armor piece they introduced last year for a few characters, which, again, I think looks quite nice. However, I was not then, and I'm still not a huge fan of these guys just using the standard minifigure torso and legs. I feel as though there should have been something more droid-based for the torso and legs. Like, I think the printed design is good. For adapting a Dark Trooper onto this body shape, I think they did a good job. It's just like, to me, this doesn't really capture the feel of them from the shoulders down, but overall, still a good figure. Definitely really good as far as trooper figures go, and they all have some Galaxy Squad guns. Very nice. So, overall, I think the LEGO Star Wars The Mandalorian Dark Trooper Attack is a really neat set. Despite the rather bad price-to-part ratio, I do think the value is there between the build and the figures. All 4 figures are really nice. The Dark Troopers are obviously fantastic to get in abundance here, though for me personally, the standout is honestly the Luke figure. I don't know, it's nothing too complex, but I just really like that variant, and I like finally getting another figure of Luke in Jedi robes. It's been way too long, in my opinion. But yeah, this is one of 2 sets based on the finale of The Mandalorian Season 2 that is coming in March of 2021. The other is Boba Fett's Palace, which I didn't misspeak. We do know from leaks that it is based on the end credit scene of The Mandalorian Season 2 and not on the Book of Boba Fett. And that set has not yet been revealed, although when it is, you can count on me making a video about it. But that's all for the Dark Trooper attack, so now let's move on to the new additions to the helmet collection. Starting with LEGO Star Wars Set 75327, the Luke Skywalker Red 5 helmet. The set includes 675 pieces and is based on the helmet worn by Luke during the Battle of Yavin in the original Star Wars movie, which he dons again for the Battle of Hoth in The Empire Strikes Back. And just looking at this, in my opinion, LEGO did a really good job with this helmet. For starters, it's impressive just because it's open. It's hollow. The only other empty, hollow helmets LEGO has done for this lineup are the 2 Batman cowls they've done. And in my opinion, and most people's opinion, and from what I've seen, those sets were pretty awful. This one, though, actually looks surprisingly good, to the point where I would hazard to say that this is my favorite set they've put out for the helmet collection in its 3 years of running. Yeah, just looking at it, you can see that obviously LEGO went with the primarily white color scheme, as they do with the minifigure Luke, and none of the weathering or battle damage, again, just like the minifigure, but I don't really mind. This definitely makes for a much cleaner and more displayable look. The thing that I really get drawn to is the visor at the front, which uses a good amount of transparent orange bricks, including some large ones with the curve. That design just looks really nice in my opinion, and that really ties it all together. But then as for the helmet, you can see what looks to be a mix of printed and stickered parts. For example, you have the 2 Rebel Alliance insignias up at the top, which are definitely printed, as well as the dishes at the sides of the helmet with the lines. But then some other details like the horizontal yellow, well, the diagonal yellow stripes and above the center of the forehead do look to be stickers. I'm fine with them including stickers in an 18+ set. I know a lot of people are against that, but being realistic and considering production concerns and how many extra spots it would take up to have every single piece be printed, I'm totally fine with having stickers. But that's just me. You can see that you have the chin strap at the bottom, as well as the little microphone. Yeah, not too much else to say on this helmet, just from this one view. You do get an exclusive printed plaque here, so that's a print. But, yeah. Taking a look at the set from another angle, you can see this lifestyle picture, which lets us get a good sense of scale for it. Obviously, it's not 1-to-1 scale. It's fairly small, as all of the helmet sets are, but it's definitely good size for a display piece, in my opinion. And here you can just get what is the closest image LEGO has revealed to just giving us a complete front view of the helmet. And in my opinion, that looks quite nice. And then here you can just see an image of it from the other side, yeah, I mean, again, not too much new here. This is just the image from the back of the box, but I do really like the shaping on all of this. I think LEGO did just do a really good job with this helmet. And here you can also start to see for the main stripe on the top, that is 3 bricks wide, and then you also have some yellow flex tubes curved alongside of it to give just a bit more detail, which I absolutely love. And then looking at it directly from the side, you can just get a bit of a better look at that, as well as some of the side construction with the different checkmark detailing. And then looking at the set more from the back, you can see that for that stripe, it looks like how they've done it is that you will actually get a lot of 1x4 curved slope bricks in red, but with a white stripe printed on top. And then in the center, you'll just have the piece in red with no printing, which is actually really nice. A nice extra level of detailing. I fully would have expected LEGO to just use those pieces in white instead and just have it not look accurate from the side, but no, they actually printed up that piece to just have the top be completely covered in white just to get a slightly more accurate look. Props to LEGO on that. I really enjoy that. I think the stripe in this back view honestly looks just as good as the front. Yeah, and then obviously I haven't brought it up, but just as with all the helmets, the detailing that isn't specific detailing, that's just the shaping of the helmet is basically just built up with plates. I think it looks fine here. I think it really looks fine on all of them. I quite like that design, and yeah, not too much else to say about this helmet. Just really well done, really accurate, really impressive is probably the main thing as well, because this is completely hollow, and it's obviously totally stable, or else they wouldn't be releasing it. It has to abide by their stability standards, and it does, which is impressive, because again, those Batman cowls both had stuff going right up in the middle of them, and looked awful, so I guess different teams, maybe? But yeah, this is a really fantastic set. I don't own any of the helmet sets. I might pick this one up. This looks fantastic, and I don't want to keep going on about it, because that'll get boring. So instead, let's move on to the other helmet they've revealed that'll be coming out March 1st, which is maybe a bit less exciting. It's the Mandalorian helmet. It's based on his updated Beskar helmet. I don't know why I'm saying updated. He's had it since the 3rd episode of the series, but I suppose it did take us a year and a half to get that in LEGO, so you can see that it does use a good amount of metallic drum-lacquered silver around the rim of the visor, as well as for the stripe going up the center. Not really, the ridge, rather. And you just have black for the T-visor. A good amount of light bluish gray, though, you can definitely see. Just, you have metallic silver for some highlights, but then you do also just have a lot of light bluish gray. Unfortunately, in some areas where I think it would really benefit from metallic silver, such as that wedge plate under the eyes, I understand why that can't be drum lacquered, because it does have studs on top, but I think it does harm the look to have the entire visor be outlined in silver, except for probably the most notable part, because it's the only thing giving it any sort of angular shape. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but here you can see that you have another exclusive printed plate, of course. And then, just getting a bit of a different look at this, you can see it from the front, where we can see what is probably my main issue with it. Aside from, again, the fact that the one wedge plate that shapes the visor is not metallic, and in my opinion that does not look good. But my other issue is that when you put this with the Boba Fett helmet that they put out 2 years ago, and this is an official LEGO picture, you can see that the Mando's helmet is wider, and specifically it has a wider T-visor. And that is completely wrong, because in Star Wars, Boba Fett has a wide helmet with a wide visor, and the Mandalorian has a much thinner helmet with a very thin T-visor. And these sets have the exact opposite. And in my opinion, that's really unfortunate. Again, I don't own the Boba Fett helmet, so if you don't own that set, then this won't be as apparent. Even then, it is still apparent. Just looking at this in general, you can definitely see that the visor is too wide. But if you have both of these sets and want to put them together, I think it'll really put into perspective how inaccurate they both are, and how I think they would look a lot better if you basically just color swapped them and just swapped which build has which colors and is for which character. Because, yeah, it's really funny, because, the Boba Fett helmet is not perfect, but this is, the perfect shape of Boba Fett's helmet. And it's not for Boba Fett, it's for Din Djarin, so that is odd and questionable. Yeah, I feel as though this really needed another pass. Boba's helmet I'm not too miffed at, because it is 2 years old. It was one of the first sets from this sub-theme. But it is really unfortunate they couldn't have done another pass on Din's helmet to just give it an accurate shape to the show, because I do think this is kind of disappointing in the accuracy regard. That said, just looking at it from some other angles, it's not bad. I do think, like, you have a good level of detail all around wherever it's required. Like, on the sides of the helmet, that's nice and uses a lot of metallic silver as well there. And around the back of the helmet, you have the conclusion of the ridge and some of the other details. I mean, it's nicely detailed all around. And you do have a lot of more smooth areas on this than a lot of the other helmets. I mean, this isn't a bad set by any means. It's just, personally, those two issues really do drag it down for me. And while I am definitely heavily considering adding that Luke Skywalker helmet to my LEGO collection as my first installment in the helmet collection that I will own, this set does not have the same honor. I really don't think this one is anywhere near as good as that one. Like, this isn't terrible, but I don't know. Like, the color primarily being light gray, I feel makes this one of the blander helmets in the collection, and it's also not particularly accurate because of the shaping. So, I mean, if you're a big fan of the helmet collection and you're getting all of the sets, I guess get this one, but personally, I would probably skip on this, even if I was collecting this theme more frequently. But those are all of the sets I'm talking about in this video. And again, there are 2 more sets coming March 1st that have not yet been revealed. The Boba Fett's Palace, as well as one more helmet, which is purportedly a Dark Trooper helmet. Kind of funny, because obviously if they'd revealed that at the same time as all of these, then they could have put out like a thing where, oh, we have the Dark Trooper set and the Dark Trooper helmet. But they didn't do that, so now so I'm making this video, and then later on I'll make a second video, maybe in a week or 2, whenever they reveal the other sets, where we'll have a Dark Trooper helmet, but I've already taken a look at the Dark Trooper figures. Why am I talking about this? I don't know. Anyway, overall, I really do think that the Dark Trooper attack is a fantastic little set for $30. I hope LEGO keeps doing these $30 Battle Pack-ish sets, because this is the second one, because a couple of years back we had the 501st Legion Clone Troopers set, and now we have this. I'd really love to get more of these, in particular also for this hallway diorama setup. I'd love to get, like, one of these with Rebel Troopers and Stormtroopers based on the hallway of the Tantive 4 from the opening of the original movie. Or maybe one based on the opening of Phantom Menace? I don't know, there are lots of opportunities for this, for both of these, really, for hallway vignette type sets and for these $30 larger battle pack type sets. So I really hope to see more of both of those. I'll definitely be picking this one up. Maybe not on March 1st, but soon enough after. As for the helmets, I think Luke's helmet is really impressive. It's not really even a question. It is my favorite set they've done for the helmet collection, and it is very likely that I'll be getting this again. Not at release, but I'll probably get it sometime this year. As for the Mandalorian helmet, it's fine. Not great, not terrible, just fine. So, thank you all so much for watching this video.